So we'll go ahead. It's 2 after, so we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you guys very, 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 very much for being here. We really appreciate it. That was like 4 varies, right? That shows you how much we're really excited about it. We have a returning guest. That's how great Ron was the first time. We got him back. So Ron, welcome back. Say hi.
Hey everybody! I just gave myself a positive reaction. If you can see that.
Yeah, I do see that.
It's like the old television signs where it's like applause.
Got this tech thing down now. Hope everybody's doing well. Looks like we're about to get a pretty bad storm here in New York any minute. I think it came up as a result from the tropical storm down your way. Sure you guys got something from that?
We did not.
Actually. It was mainly to the east.
Oh, lucky you.
We just stayed hot like we are.
Yeah, we could use some rain. I mean, I'm always okay with that. My grass wants that. So obviously you've been here before, back in April, I think it was, right?
Yep.
And since I really can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday, remind us a little bit about yourself, kids, where you live, whatnot.
Sure. I'm here in Long Island, New York, where the headquarters of Advanced Tabco is. My name's Ron. I'm 39. I enjoy long walks on the beach and a nice poem.
Can you say Long Island, though? You got to hit that G.
See, I'm born in Chicago, so I don't have the Long Island accent, and I'm also from the North Shore of Long Island. We speak properly, but that's another conversation. I have a daughter who's turning 7 tomorrow, and a 4-year-old son who will be 5 in August. He just graduated from elementary school today.
I have a reaction for him.
Nice, very, very nice. He worked really hard. So, homeschooling a 4-year-old is fun because he really has the attention span.
Well, I'm certain. My 6-year-old is, well, not quite 6, but she's a lot of fun too. So since we checked in on the factory before and all the other stuff, how about you give us a little history of Advanced Tabco? Can you kind of tell us when, how, where it started?
I'll try and go quick. So it's a 4th generation privately held family business. It was founded in 1929. At the time, it was called Supreme. Through the family history, the owners of Supreme Metal and Advance, at the time called Advanced Forming, kind of parted ways. Supreme Metal did underbar sinks. Advanced Tabco did kitchen equipment, and they kind of agreed as family not to cross over into each other's products. Fast forward to about 7 years ago, Advance acquired the assets of Supreme Metal. It was kind of a natural fit, so it all kind of came full circle. That's the very quick Cliff note.
That was quite the quick. I thought I had a couple more seconds.
Actually, in 1929, the company was making beer coolers for speakeasies, I think, during Prohibition. A little before my time, but that's what I'm told.
Chris, you look old. Is that right? He's not even listening. He's like, I'm tuning that guy out. Well, so Ron is back to talk to us, obviously, a little Advanced Tabco. They really make a lot of different products with different gauges and different finishes and metal types and whatnot, that it can be kind of overwhelming at times for some. So today, let's kind of hone in on just a couple of products that we kind of mentioned last time, but we didn't really give as much time to it as we wanted. So let's go ahead and get started on serving lines. Oh, look at that little tiger.
Am I talking now?
If you want, I'm oohing at the tiger. You don't have to. If you want, we can spend this next 20 minutes me just doing this.
You have questions?
Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, sure. We've really come a long way. Probably the fastest growing part of business that Advanced Tab goes in is our custom fab, and serving lines are a prime example of that. What we've seen in a lot of areas is, when it comes to remodeling kitchens, aesthetics matter, and the school nutrition and the directors of the schools, and they really want the schools to look nice, so that you'll see different examples of them promoting either school spirit with graphics like you see here, which are both done in vinyl, or nutritious eating. The goal is to get the kids to eat lunch at the school and not bring in lunch, or the older kids leave and spend money somewhere else. So one way to accomplish that is with the graphics, which we do all in-house with a little bit of guidance, but that's usually built into our pricing. And there's a bunch of different ways to go about it. So you can see on the left, we have kind of like a modular point of sale station. What's missing from the picture is like the cash register or the touch screen point of sale display, but you can see the grommet hole for appliance cords to go through. And on the right, you have a serving line, self-serve application. What you'll see in a few of these pictures is something that we've done quite a bit, where instead of making a tray slide, whether it's a tubular tray slide or a solid tray slide, we actually extended the top all the way out. So you have a one-piece seamless design, which is a lot easier to clean, according to some people, than the tray slides. The
Sure.
tubular ones, if something spills, it's going to fall on the floor. And the solid ones, because they have those little ribs on them that kind of, help the trays lift up off of it a little bit, it makes it a little challenging to clean, because if you wanted to clean in one spot, it's hard to push the food or the crumbs forward or backwards. So what you have to do is kind of push it down the whole line until you get to the end, and then you can push it off the tray.
Right.
So a lot of people like the solid design like this. The
Cool.
nice thing about the modular tray slides is that you have the ability to make them drop down. So if you wanted to put, the serving line away in storage or change the location or whatever the case may be, you can drop it down and make the unit narrower.
Right, like this
I
one's a
think we're gonna get-
double-sided one, right?
Excuse me?
This one's a double-sided one, right? So,
Yes, it is. The one on the right, I can't.
yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
I think so.
It does
So
look
like
like
if
it.
they
Those food
had a
shields are-
change, then they could
Food shields
put
on
down
both
the
sides.
things.
Absolutely, double-sided food shields on both sides. I don't know if any of the pictures you want to get into food shields on a later one.
Yeah, we're gonna do food shields here in a bit. Don't let
Okay.
people know our script, jeez.
I know.
Uh,
What you saw.
So this is a
in-
middle school, right? Yep.
This is a middle school, yeah. So we do varying heights. It's kind of hard to tell because you don't have anything to compare it to. But for the middle school, we'll make the heights a little bit lower. In some cases where it's a dual school, for example, my school district has grades 7 through 12 in the same school, so they have two separate cafeterias. But in an example like that, we have done several where the height drops down and it goes to a lower section, where some of it may be full service where people are serving the students, and then some of it's self-service and it gets lower where the students are serving themselves, or just different heights for different grades and they only use part of the table for part of the time. What else you can see in these pictures are the drop-ins. We make both hot and cold drop-ins, which was part of the acquisition when we bought Supreme Metal. The big thing for us was, we're buying an underbar company, but it was actually turned out to be pleasant surprise for how much hot food drop-ins and hot food and cold food tables we're selling. Way more than bar equipment, which is nice. And
Yeah.
it kind of ties into our advancement in custom fabrication that we're pushing a lot. So we can make our own wells, but at the same time, if there's technology from another company that makes wells that has something that we don't have, you can send them to us and we can drop them in or install them, or we can just send the counter to you with the cutout for the wells. You'll see on the right, instead of doing vinyl, they just chose to do a laminate there. And you can see we have the half height doors where you see that yellow sticker, or we can do full size doors with the louvers on there to allow airflow for the drop. And you can install the heat lamps. You see the Hatco units on them. We do not make heat lamps. We do provide our own LED lights. Both of these units show a stainless steel top above the food shield. We can do glass tops also, which are pretty nice.
I think this is actually the same unit. I think it's just
It is
one's
both
the front,
sides.
the
Well,
other is the quote
I
unquote
think
back.
there's two units side by side. If you look at the picture on the left, I believe one of them has the vinyl and one of them is just black. If you look at the picture
Yep.
on the left, you can see
Yep.
the second serving line behind the Indian one.
Cool. Let's go to our next one.
Sure.
I wanted to add this in definitely for the one down on the bottom left. It's a university, right?
That is a university dining hall, which obviously has a little bit more upscale finish than some of the K through 12, or K through 12, but the elementary and middle school and high schools that we do. You can see the glass top. That unit's made extra wide on the left, the food shield, and you'll notice it has 3 sets of posts, and that's one to offer support for the extra big span of the glass top, but also that center tube is hollowed out and it's a little hard to see because of the glare, but there is an LED light there shining down on the food. So we run the wiring through that center post, and you can kind of see in the picture the post extends horizontally also over the food, and the wiring continues through there. So it's nice and concealed, and it's a very nice unit. Now, we don't really do in fact, that whole unit on the left was not made by Advanced Tabco. This is the food shield and the drop-in. A large portion of the food shields that we do go on equipment or millwork made by others. But at the same time, they can go onto our bases like you see on the right.
Cool. Cool. And there's the little drop down work shelf on the back, on that one on the right.
You can see the solid one there, correct.
Yep. So let's go to the next one, Chris, please. So this is a high school, but let's kind of focus in on those guards.
Absolutely. So this is another self-serve application. Obviously, we did double tiers on there with LED lights, and I believe we have heat lamps on the left section over the hot wells, or maybe they're LEDs. I can't really tell from the picture. But in any event, we can do both. But yeah, we can do single tier, double tier, self-service, full service. These are obviously both self-service. Not pictured here is we have a new guard that transitions from full service to self-service. So the actual front glass kind of folds in half, and it's a pretty slick design. I would put it up against any in the industry in terms of how easy it is to change the application of what you're serving and what's going on there. So it gives you nice versatility, not only if you wanted to do something different for breakfast and lunch, but if plans change long term, you could be using full serve for a year, and then next school year comes around, you're like, maybe we want to change this to self-service and reduce staff. You can go ahead and do that without having to buy all new glass and retrofit everything.
Right.
Obviously on here you see the custom angle that we did, which is kind of a nice feature. I didn't point out on some of the other ones, this unit's on feet. We do quite a bit of serving lines on casters actually, which I was talking about, with the fold down tray slides, just to make it easy to put it away or to move for cleaning. And you can see at the end that little modular piece where I believe it's dropped down to be able to stack cafeteria trays down there. And that's just a nice little integrated place. And you can see we use the vinyl graphics to extend the whole length. And also on the very left, you can see the bulldog sign sort of above the food shields. That's something that we built in also just to give a little extra touch on there.
A little more color, right?
A little more color. We actually, for this school, I've told this story before. If anyone's seen our a presentation that I've done, maybe when I was down doing it in your guys' office, but we actually redesigned this school's logo and mascot for them in the process of doing this vinyl wrap. They wanted their bulldog to look meaner, and so Jennifer in our graphics department went and got that done.
Cool. So let's keep going here. Sanitization, easy to say. It's a word most of us are hearing a lot about, maybe not that exact word, but right now it's super important, right? It's paramount.
Sure. So
not that things weren't clean before, but I think we all agree that it gives customers a peace of mind when they see that it's something that's out front and something that the location of restaurant, whoever is making this an important thing for them. So what do we have like this that can help?
Yeah, we have this is our sanitizer stand. It's available in two sizes, 24-inch tall and a 36-inch tall. Now the height is to the circular base that the bottle is sitting on. So with a gallon-sized bottle, the 24-inch unit is plenty tall. I'm 6'5". That's actually my hand in the picture on the right.
You're like a hand model.
I'm a hand model, yeah.
Oh, look at this.
My hand there.
What do I do with my hand?
My point is at 6'5", even with a 24-inch height, by the time you put a sanitizer bottle on there, it's not awkward for me to use at all. It was very comfortable. I didn't have to bend down. And then the 36 one is if you were maybe using a bottle that was smaller than a gallon, you could buy the unit a little bit taller. These are aluminum, so they're super lightweight. They're literally 4 and 5 pounds respectively for the two different sizes, so we can ship them UPS or FedEx. They said that gloves are not good. They make you more confident to touch stuff and touch your face. You just got to sanitize a lot and buy our hand sanitizer stands. But nonetheless, we have these. We introduced them right at the start of COVID. We've just shipped our 3,000th one, so they're selling very well. I remember when I was literally working on the design and we were taking orders for them before we had a finished product. So it is what it is. It's a quick to market. We ship it pretty quick. First come, first serve, but we are getting them out. We're shipping between 1 and 200 a day, depending on what else we have going on in that factory. So nice product.
Yeah, that is cool. So what have we heard as far as sanitizing things? Have we heard of,
So I'll jump in. I mean,
go for
there's
it.
been a lot of back and forth. There's no standard, right? So everybody's got their own opinion. Some places are going overboard with, not only sanitation for their own employees, but to give customers the peace of mind that everything is being extra sanitized and stuff like that. And some we've heard for example, in consultant happy hour yesterday, there was some talk that, once this in a little short period of time, everyone's going to be back to normal and it's going to be an afterthought. So there's different approaches. Here in New York, everybody's still a little bit uptight. Couple other products we're coming out with, just some hand sinks that are more suitable for front of the house. Maybe if you wanted to put a hand sink, we have a knee pedal unit, a 7PS82, where you can put a vinyl wrap on the hand sink that kind of shows a message to the customers. We're washing our hands extra with your safety in mind or something like that. And you can actually put that in graphics on the hand sink. We're also making a sanitation room little package deal where it has a sanitizing table for when deliveries come to the restaurants in the back of the house. They have an area to spray down the boxes that stuff comes in and then put it on a wire shelf to let it air dry for a little bit, just for that extra step so they can go ahead and tell their customers.
We have done that. We've done that
I'm working
sanitization.
on the email blast for it as we speak. So it's just going to be a work table with a drawer or two built on and just a 3-foot wire shelf, just existing products we have, just putting the thought out there. We're trying to take feedback that we're hearing from all places in the country and kind of put it out there to the masses. Oh, I didn't think of that. That's a nice thing,
Right.
So.
Is that is that mainly just a New York thing, or are we seeing it other places?
So far, I think that came to us. I don't know where it originated. It wasn't a New York deal. It was also from one of the consultant happy hour meetings, which I haven't been on the last couple. Al from our company has, but he's coming back with good feedback that he's hearing.
Cool. I think that is going to bring us to our question and answer. Here's a question from Tim. What kind of information are you hearing about the existence of buffets with COVID in schools?
I have had several inquiries from different states for products that would temporarily replace their cafeterias, more mobile serving. Did we talk about our mobile? We call it a breakfast cart, but it doesn't just have to be for breakfast.
I think we mentioned it. I think we mentioned it, but we can definitely mention it again.
So we do have a unit that is basically a cart with a double-tiered shelf, and the cart has a drop-in cold pan, and it's mobile. It's 52 inches long. It has room for a point of sale station, and what's unique about it is it has the drop-in cold pan to keep drinks or stuff like that cold, or fruit. Then it has your room temperature storage on the overshelves, and underneath it has room for hot storage or additional cold. The reps who helped us develop it have Metro, so it has a Metro Mighty Light. It stores them, whatever. I'm sure there's not really my area, but plenty of manufacturers make those.
Yep.
And, it keeps hot food available too, so you can serve breakfast sandwiches or stuff like that and bring it to the students. So that's one solution we've come up with. We've had some others ask us if we could take like our cold buffet units and our hot buffet units and bolt them together, which we can do. And that way they kind of have a rolling hot and cold serving cart. I think, again, nobody really knows what's going to happen. So people are just, I think getting their ducks in a row in case they're not allowed to have students in the cafeteria because they have no way to keep everyone distanced, and, the concern with people handling their food and stuff like that.
Right.
But I am pretty confident we'll see an uptick in food guards, and breath guards and food shields and all that stuff for sure.
Yep. I was thinking as we were looking at that double-sided or the 2 double-sided earlier that I wonder if they're going to even allow that with the double-sided now, if it's going to be more of you have to have it as a full serve and have employee there handing things out.
Yeah, definitely.
Crazy times. All right, let's see if we have any other questions. I don't see any. You guys can obviously unmute and do so as well. Ron, we just keep knocking it out, man. We didn't have too many questions last time. That's how good we are. All right, well, I guess we'll keep moving then. So the question of the day today, once again, if this is your first time, tugtime@millerequip.com. The first person to answer this correctly, ooh, we're getting a nice feedback. First person to answer this correctly will win a $50 gift card to a local restaurant of their choosing. And we have done it where they are holding it for some folks. So next time they go in, it'll be there, or we've mailed it, or we really prefer the online. It's cool. So the question today is, when are the advanced Tabco hand sanitizer stands available? Okay. So email away. Hopefully this should be pretty easy, because the answer is okay. So
You've gotten really super easy with these questions, by the way.
well, when I make it tough, I get no answers. So I have to, it's just driving home the point. They are available now. Put in a PO this afternoon.
What was last week's answer?
Last week's answer was a chicken rack. It is kind of like a beer can chicken. Holds 6 chickens.
Nice. Said that after I wrote pot.
Yep. It is a chicken rack. Thank you for reminding me, because I would have just blown past and not remembered to tell you guys that was the answer, which a lot of people did send in.
And by the way, Ron should know you highlighted the knee valve sink on Tuesday. You even leaned into it and showed how easy it is.
One in your test kitchen?
Yeah.
Yes.
How much?
One that you used to walk by and not look at twice, Jeff, and now it's your favorite sink?
Actually, I never walked by it there. I never thought about it till we had it. But once we had it, I've always walked by the other sink, because it's like, why would I wash my hands and not lean on the sink? This is easy. Path of least resistance.
Except you're having to take extra
sanitary.
Clean hands. Look at these babies. Clean.
Very clean hands.
Thank you.
So
Quick question on the hand sanitizers.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You're good.
We saw gallon sizes there. What other sizes does it accommodate?
It fits bottles from 6 inches to 18 inches. So pretty much a gallon. That actually in the picture was a quarter gallon, which has got a name, I think a liter. It was a liter bottle. So it will, what we found, the reason we created that was, the electronic hand sanitizer pumps, like that Purell would make or something like that, were sold out everywhere. So the only thing people could get their hands on was just gallons of liquid hand sanitizer with a pump on it. So there was really nothing in the market that was available. Everything was back ordered. So we came out with a quick ship. It's worked well.
Yeah.
Are they totally assembled?
It's just 2 pieces. You just pop the adjustable top into the bottom tube, and there's a thumb screw to tighten it.
Good.
Awesome.
Sounds difficult for me.
For me, it might be, but others I think could do it.
Not me.
Hey, I had one more question.
Yeah.
Ron, you mentioned that you think you'll see an uptick in food shields, and especially because those food shields will easily give you the option to go back to self-serve down the road. But how hard is it to install one of our food shields on an existing counter generally? I mean, is that?
In theory, in practice, it's easy. Our food shields by default the tube is hollow, so it comes with a brass expansion bolt that would mount from the underside of the counter, and then the bolt expands into the tube, and that's what holds it in place. If you don't have access to get your mind out of the gutter. If you don't have access to the bottom of the countertop, we can provide surface mount brackets that you screw down into the top. Information that we need, obviously, if there's drop-in wells, we need that information and some measurements so we can make sure the center posts don't interfere. Sometimes you can't put a rear post in the middle because it will hit the wells, so we'll do a cantilever post in that application. If you just give us the layout of what you have, we can definitely get you, and not only get you one that won't interfere with the wells, but make sure it meets NSF.
And then last point, just I guess to drive this home, nobody else has a shield like that, right? So I just was kind of hoping you could detail some of the differences that make it so, yeah.
I won't lie, several of our competitors have food shields where you can change the application what's unique about ours is, one, we're a lot less money than the company that starts with a B and ends in SI. The
Where's that company?
and we're probably in your buying group too. But realistically, ours literally you can change from full service to self-service and back in less than 10 seconds with one person. You don't need any tools. It's one-sided operation. It's a lot easier if I show you, but you just have to pull out a pin on one side of the food shields, rotate the glass, and lock it back in. It can be done super quick. There's videos of it on our website and on YouTube/Advanced Tabco. And that's what's really nice about ours. That's why we call it the Sleek Shield. It's really easy to use.
Awesome. Thank you.
That is sleek.
And
All right,
it's-
so
I also, if we have one more second, our
You have
mobile
lots
hand
more
washing
seconds.
sinks. You know those?
you have what?
Mobile hand washing sinks. It's like a cabinet with a drop-in sink, and it has a hot and cold water supply and a soil and a clean water tank underneath. We are about to launch a special next week. I think it's going to be like 500 off your standard dealer net. That's a pretty big discount for us. We don't usually, in fact, this is probably the first time where we've ever said take 500 off anything. So we really just want to get those out there. And we think there's a need for them right now. And we've been a little highly priced, admittedly. So we're going to try and blow them out. So be on the lookout for that.
You got a flyer coming out on it?
Yeah, we're going to be sending out an email. I'm working on it. It's going to be kind of everything geared towards reopening.
Okay,
So
good.
that flyer, it's in the design phase right now. I had a conference call about it this morning. It's probably not going to have pricing on it just in case it gets into the hands of an end user, but it will have 500 off your standard net. Mention this flyer when placing your order. And it's going to have that sanitation room, you know, the receiving table and the drying shelf. And it's going to have our multi-operator hand washing sinks, portable hand sinks, and the hand sanitizer stands on it as well.
Hey, can I interrupt one more time, Doug? You have to say yes.
I mean, you are the president of Miller, so yeah, go for it.
Hey, this might be, in response to Walt's question, this might be a good time for us to detail the first report that comes from Miller and Associates as well. So Chris, if you could unmute. Walt, we do a newsletter called The First Report. It's an acronym: Food Service Industry Resources, Service, and Training. But we repurpose anything that comes from a factory and that's promotional like that and send it out in the first report. So if you're not getting those, you might let us know as well, because even if you didn't get the factories, flyer, you would get it from Miller and Associates same day generally.
Okay.
Chris, you might just tell them about the first report real quick.
Yeah, just what Jeff said. It's so I have a schedule on things that I want to send out, but what I get from the different factories we represent kind of take precedence on it and try to do something once a week or something like that. Again, you have Walt or anybody on this call. If you're not getting them, send me an email at chris@millerequip.com, and I'll make sure that you're on the contact list. But yeah, that's the best way to communicate all these cool things that are coming down the pike.
Great. Well, what I try to do is once a week send out a report to all of our customers about what's special, what's going on right now for helping reopen. I'm calling it Reopen America. So that would be very helpful.
Yeah.
And I just want to say also, at Advanced Tabco, since we don't really make too many things that turn on and off. I mean, there's exceptions, hot wells and stuff like that, but we bend metal. But, a lot of the products that we develop come from ideas that you guys give us, that customers and consultants give us. So, if there's something that you're like, hey, this would work perfectly and you need us to be able to make it for you, we're happy to do that and, try and give you some advantage on it or anything like that. But, we're always listening, and we kind of rely on you to tell us, especially during these unique times, what we need to be making. So we're all ears. You're there.
A million pair of nitrile gloves would be great.
What'd you say?
I said about 1 million pair of nitrile gloves would be great.
Yeah, I'm on it.
That's a daily question.
Well, so
New York, what part of Long Island?
I live in Huntington. Are you familiar?
Absolutely. Manhasset is where I live.
Oh, okay. There you go. Yeah.
This is
Specifically, I live in Lloyd Harbor, Cold Spring Harbor School District.
awesome out. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we play you guys in lacrosse a lot.
Beautiful place.
You got our facts, Tug?
Actually, no, I don't have facts. I have jokes
Oh.
today.
Nice.
Oh,
Love it.
It's been a while. Let's go ahead and bring them back. Let's
Can't
knock out some jokes. So yesterday, I saw a guy carrying a Scrabble game across the street. When he dropped it in the road, I walked over and asked him, "So what's the word on the street?" Wait, that's one of the better ones. My wife
Right.
accused me. My wife accused me of being immature. I told her, "Get out of my fort." Did you hear the one about the statistician? Probably. A woman. Thank you for the laughs. I appreciate it.
We need a laugh track, I think.
No sympathy.
Yeah, I need the applause button. Where's that? Here, wait. Here we go. Fractions. Done. All right. So a woman in labor suddenly shouted, shouldn't, wouldn't, couldn't, didn't, can't. Her concerned husband turned toward the doctor and he said, "Don't worry. Those are just contractions." Why did the chicken, we're going to go there. Why did the chicken go to the seance? To get to the other side. Come on. Get it? Come on. All right. Told you they don't get too much better. How do you drown a hipster? Throw in mainstream. Mainstream, the hipster doesn't like. All right. I just enjoy these. You're gonna have to deal with it. Why can't you explain puns to a kleptomaniac or to kleptomaniacs? They always take things literally.
Kate laughed.
Yeah.
Where's the leave button? Where's the leave button?
What does Charles Dickens keep in his spice rack? The best of times, the worst of times. See, Jeff just turned off his, because he's laughing. I know, that's why. All right, and then finally, I'm certain you're all so happy to hear that. This is the last one. But here's the last joke. Why can't you hear a pterodactyl go to the bathroom? Because the P is silent. So I am finished with Tug Time. I hope it was as good for you as we said it would be. Thank you, Ron. Thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it. Sorry we ran a little long, but questions are good. Thanks, guys. Hopefully we'll see you again Thursday. Oh, and we do have the Tug Time videos, a lot of them up at millercrypt.com/tugtime or on our YouTube page as well. So thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks, Ron.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Ron.